Welcome, gun runner.
Hello everybody, Kieran aka The Laird here, and I have a new board game review for you today. And I haven't done one of these for absolutely ages now. Actually, I can't remember the last one I did. I do have a few to do though, but funnily enough, although I have a few to do and have a bit of a backlog, this one right here arrived literally about 5 minutes ago. So I wasn't going to do something else, and then this turned up and I thought, yeah, let's go for that. It's a great one to do on the run up to Christmas. And those of you who watch my channel will know that I've been collecting these vintage MB games, board games that are based on arcade games for some time now. I've looked at quite a few of them on the channel. I looked at Pac-Man, Zaxxon, Berserk, Frogger. Is that all of them? It probably is. But yeah, I've been picking them up when I've seen them at decent prices, and there's still quite a few I want to get. For example, there is a Centipede one that I really want to get. There is a Defender one that I really want to get. I've never seen either of those turn up anywhere. I've got a feeling there's a Cubert one as well, but I've not seen that one at all either. So there are quite a few of these, and this is one that I've wanted to grab for quite a while now. And I saw somebody selling it on Vinted for £15. I made them an offer of £12 and they accepted. So I was very pleased with that indeed. Although I will caveat by saying there was a little bit of damage to it, and it's not 100% complete, but most of it is here. It's certainly enough to show you guys what it's all about. So that's the most important thing. And it adds to my collection. It's still playable. It's just that there is a couple of things missing, which I'll go into in due course. So there we go. It's for 7 to 14 years, obviously based on the Nintendo arcade game Race to Save the Fair Maiden from Donkey Kong. So it says here, Donkey Kong has captured the Fair Maiden, not called Pauline or anything here. To rescue her, you must first battle your way up the girders, avoid hazardous fast-rolling barrels and flaming fireballs. Your courage will be rewarded. When you read that, you think, oh, how does that work as a board game? And it's quite clever, because when you look at this picture, you initially look at it, and it looks like it's a kind of 3D game, and then you look at it a bit closer and realise, oh no, that is a flat board that they're playing on. Very interesting indeed. Nothing on the back. And I always find it strange that these old MB games, board games, have nothing on the back. They are completely blank. I've always found that a bit weird. So let's open the box so we can see what we've got inside, like we always do. So here's our board. We'll have a bit more of a look at that in a moment. But when I open it like that, it looks quite 3D, doesn't it? But there we go. So try and get the whole thing on camera if I can. It's just quite difficult, but there we go. You can see it's quite a big board. Mario at the bottom. Donkey Kong goes up here. There's Fair Maiden, as she's called here. But yeah, it certainly very closely resembles level 1 of the arcade game. So I'll put that to the back for a moment. Then inside the box, what do we have? In fact, I'll put that behind there. It's a bit more interesting, isn't it then? So inside the box, we've got Donkey Kong instruction booklet there. So we'll go through that in a moment. And actually, weirdly, there's a correction page for that, so there must be mistakes in it. Then we have all our pieces. So we'll have a look at the instruction booklet, and we'll go through these pieces as well. So there's our Donkey Kong we've got in here with his arm that swings down, as you can see. Now, this is one of the things, this is actually not fully working, because if you look on the back, there's a little thing here, a little switch, and that's meant to have an elastic band that goes from there onto the arm to make it spring. But you'll see from bits of it, it's perished. The band that was on it is long since perished, so the arm doesn't swing back anymore. You can still use it, but it's supposed to, when you pull it down, it's supposed to spring back up, and it doesn't because of that. That band is long since perished. It could probably be fixed, but it'll take a little bit of work to do it. We have a little pack of cards, so with Mario's images on it. In fact, we'll just take the elastic band off them. So you can see Mario doing different things: jump, hammer, jump hammer. Some of them are upside down there as well. That's it, but with different points on them as well. Loads of them are upside down. Ugh. Who puts cards back and doesn't put them back the right way up? Goodness me. There's a bugbear of mine, that. It's just like when you get money and the money's all different way around as well. When I used to run shops, I used to hate that. So I spent ages sorting the money out so all the notes were the right way around. So let's put them back. We have our characters. So we have a Mario. Then we have a blue Mario. But we have a Luigi there. So we've got Luigi. Mario. I suppose one could be Wario, couldn't it? Because there is a yellow one as well. So Wario didn't really exist then, but they've kind of pre-emptied that, haven't they? By having that. I don't know what blue Mario is called. Is there a Waluigi or something, isn't there? I'm not massively familiar, but probably. We've got some dice. So that dice has got a Donkey Kong on one side. Don't know if you can see that very well on the camera, hopefully. And then a plain dice. We've got barrels. So there we go. Look like proper barrels. Then we have fireballs. Fire barrels even. Like that. And I will say actually, when I opened this up for doing this video, I did find that all of the stickers had come off. None of the pieces had the stickers back, had stickers on them. And before doing this review, for setting up to do this review, I spent ages gluing the stickers back on with a Pritt stick. It seems to have worked a treat. So yeah, that was a very wise thing to do. It would have been a bit crap showing you pieces that had no stickers on, wouldn't it? So let's have a look at what the instructions say about how you play this then. So instructions for 2 to 4 players. You've got to have minimum 2, obviously. 1 game board, 2 dice, Donkey Kong to be assembled, yeah. Mario pawns, yep. Fireball tokens, yep. Label sheet, yeah. Well, they were on. Rubber bands, haven't got those. They perished, as I said. 48 cards, 12 barrels. Apparently, I'm reliably informed by the person who sold it to me that there are 2 barrels missing. So there is, in fact, only 10 in this instead of 12. So there is a couple missing, sadly. So then it shows, obviously, how to build your Donkey Kong, first of all. And that you load the Donkey Kong with barrels, which is quite cool. So I'll just show you that. So you get your Donkey Kong and you pop the barrels in the top there. And then they're supposed to basically come out his arm. So if it's gone in, your arm should come down. It doesn't work very well, to be honest. The barrel goes into the arm and then comes out and flies and goes on my floor somewhere where I can't find it. But yeah, so that's basically what you do. I don't know how well you saw that the first time. I'll just do it again. Trying to do it so you can clearly see it. So pop the barrel into Donkey Kong, so you can load him up with barrels. It goes through to here. So when you put the arm up, the barrel goes into his arm and then drops out of his arm when it goes down. So that's that part. So that's just instructions of what to do with Donkey Kong. And then it just tells you about putting labels on. So I'm not going to read that out. It's not terribly exciting. So playing instructions, this is the part we want to know, isn't it? Sorry about the jump. I kicked the camera stand by mistake when I was trying to move on the seat, so I can show you this. So what does it say? Preparation for play. Place the 6 remaining barrels on the game board in the spaces marked with a black dot. So let's have a look at this game board, actually, see if we can get it in a position that we can see it at the same time we're going through these instructions. Probably not, to be honest. If I put it there, you can at least see the bottom of it, can't you? So what does it say? So on the game board, the space is marked with a black dot. So, oh, I see. Here, 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 here. So there is spaces here. Right, so you place the barrels, 6 remaining barrels, the ones that aren't loaded into Donkey Kong then, on those spaces. Place the 4 fireballs in the flaming oil can space at the bottom of the board. So that's over here. Okay. Shuffle the 48 cards and deal 3 face up to each player. Place the remaining cards face down on their space at the top of the game board. So it's right up here. Each player selects a coloured pawn and places it on the Mario start space halfway up the first girder. Oh yeah, that's at the bottom there, right in the middle. Okay. Each player throws the red dice, and whoever throws the highest number plays first. Play continues clockwise. On your turn, throw both dice, and then first move your Mario pawn the number of spaces on the red dice. Okay, that's pretty obvious. Move all obstacles on the game board the number of spaces on the white dice. Oh, so that's interesting. So that's when you start moving the fire barrels and the normal barrels. Move fireballs first, then the barrels. At the start of the game, there'll be no fireballs on the track yet because they're all in the can. It said that at the beginning. Press Donkey Kong's arm to release a new barrel. If you throw a Donkey Kong on the dice, so we saw that, didn't we, on one of the sides, he rests for that turn and no barrels or fireballs move. Well, that's quite clever, how the pawns move. Mario pawns move from start space, girder to girder towards the fair maiden at the finish, according to the following rules. So always move the full count of the red dice. Always move your pawn before moving barrels and fireballs. Pawns may move in any direction, but never 2 directions in the same move. Pawns can move from girder to girder only via a ladder, either up or down. When a pawn is on a ladder, it is safe from barrels, but not from fireballs. If you land on a space occupied by another pawn, move into the next space in the direction you're travelling. If you land on a space with a red dot, take a card from the top of the pack and place it face up in front of you. When moving your pawn, if it passes over or lands on a fireball or barrel, try to place a face up card. See, using your cards. Okay, it doesn't really make sense, that part, but okay. The barrels. Donkey Kong hurls barrels at you throughout the game. Barrels move according to the following rules. So it's got little diagrams there as well. Come on, camera. There we go. Donkey Kong hurls barrels at you throughout the game. Barrels move according to the following rules. All barrels always move the full count of the white dice, starting with the lower barrel, followed by those on higher levels of the girders. If Donkey Kong is thrown on the white dice, no barrels move. Barrels move after pawns and fireballs. Barrels move only downward on the blue girder spaces by either rolling off the end of a girder, on the end of the lower girder, and continuing as the dice indicates. Okay. Or sliding down a ladder. A barrel can slide down a ladder only if it lands by exact count on the blue space directly above a ladder. I did wonder if it said earlier that barrels don't go down ladders. I thought that's not like the arcade game, but there is a specific rule for this, so there we go. And only if there are no Mario pawns on the ladder, else you can't knock people off the ladder. Okay, to slide a barrel in the same turn, push it down the ladder and place it on the blue space directly below the ladder. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. More playing instructions. Quite a lot of instructions, isn't there? If a barrel lands on a space occupied by another barrel, it advances to the next free space. If a barrel lands or passes over a fireball, a barrel is destroyed and reinserted into Donkey Kong's arm. If a barrel moves onto the oil can space and you still have moves left on the dice, continue your move by releasing a fireball and moving it along the path the number of spaces left on the dice. If the barrel is inserted in Donkey Kong's arm. After moving all the barrels, press Donkey Kong's arm to release a new barrel. Yes, we know that. Fireballs. Barrels which can reach the oil can become fireballs and move according to the following rules. All fireballs always move the full count of the white dice, starting with those at the top, followed by those on lower levels. But you could technically run out of fireballs very, very quickly, couldn't you? Because I think there's only 4. Yeah, there is. There's only 4 in there. So you could run out of them very quickly in this description, really. Fireballs move only upwards on the blue girder spaces by either jumping from the edge of the girder onto the edge of the girder above and continuing as the dice indicates, sliding up a ladder. A fireball can slide up a ladder only if it lands the exact count of the blue space directly below the ladder. To slide a fireball, push it up a ladder and place it on the blue space directly above on the upper girder. Important, a fireball can still slide up a ladder if there's a Mario pawn on it. Of course, the player owning the pawn must react to the fireball by playing a jump or hammer card. So this is how the cards work, right? If possible, see using your cards. If a fireball lands on space occupied by another fireball, it involves the next free space. If a fireball lands on or passes over a barrel, the barrel is destroyed, is removed from the board and reinserted into Kong's arm. When a fireball reaches the top space in front of Donkey Kong, it's returned to the oil can and waits to be released again. Okay, using your cards, it is wise to try and collect these cards so you can either jump or destroy barrels and fireballs to score points. You play a card on your turn or during an opponent's turn when your pawn comes into contact with an obstacle. You must play a face-up card. A, when you move onto or pass over a space occupied by an obstacle, you do not have to land by an exact count, right? Or when an obstacle moves onto or passes over the space occupied by your pawn, it doesn't need to land by exact count. Okay, so when you play a card, you gain the points value of that card, hence the numbers at the top. So always choose a high score to play. When you have played your card, turn it face down in front of you. There are two types of cards, jump cards and hammer cards. Yeah, we saw those when I was going through them, but there's a picture there. Playing the jump card, if you land on or pass over an obstacle lands on or passes over you, you may play a jump card and move one space ahead. I think this sheet actually corrects this back page, so we'll go with this sheet. If you land on or pass over an obstacle or it lands and passes over you, then you may play a hammer card and the obstacle is destroyed and removed from the board. If the obstacle is a barrel, reinsert it into Donkey Kong's arms. If it is a fireball, return it to the oil can space. So running out of cards. That's the bit I was waiting for. You must always play one face-up card each time you come into contact with an obstacle. If you have no face-up cards left, you are penalised as follows. On your turn, if you move into an obstacle and you have no face-up cards to play, without looking, pick any one of your face-down cards and place it pick any one of your face-down cards and place it face down on the top of the deck. Okay, right. You have face down and face up cards. Yeah. In opponent's turn, if an obstacle lands on you and you have no face up cards, your opponent must steal a face down card from you. You may take any face down card without looking and place it face up in front of him. Right. Note, on your turn, if you have no face up cards or face down cards left and your pawn is in contact with an obstacle, your pawn is not affected in any way and you're not penalised. However, if it is your opponent's turn and you have no face-up or face-down cards, then your opponent may draw the top card from the deck and place it face-up in front of him. So you'd think it would make you go back to the start. That's what I assumed, but it doesn't make you go back to the start, which I find strange. Play continues, each player trying to play as many cards as possible to score points. Play stops when one player reaches the 500 finish space. That player wins 500 bonus points and the game is over. All players total up the number of points they have on their played face-down cards only. The winner, the player with the most points, wins the game. Remember, this may not necessarily be the player who reached the finish first. So this is kind of saying that you should all reach the finish first. You should all reach the finish even and then count your points, which I think's, I think it'd be better it'd be the first player to reach the top. And then if another player does it on the same turn as you, then you should count up the points. I think that'd be a better way of playing it. I suppose you could adapt the rules if you wanted to, but to me that seems a more natural way of playing it. But there we go. So that's how that works. I mean, I don't really know if I could set the board up particularly well because there isn't really enough space on my desk here to set it up. I don't think. And I can't really play it on camera because I don't have anyone to play it with at the moment. I really wanted to get this video done. But yeah, you can get, that's how your Donkey Kong goes on the board. You can see there. And you'd put your pieces on the board. You'd have your barrels on the board like that. So you can get an idea of how the game sets up. But I'm going to play this over Christmas. Try and persuade my wife to play it. And I'm also going to see if I can find an elastic band and see if I can fix Donkey Kong's arm, because it'd be nice to have it fully working, wouldn't it? Something as cool as this Donkey Kong game. But it sounds quite fun. It sounds like you could adapt the rules as well, like I spoke about. It's not too complicated. Some of these are, but this one doesn't seem too complicated to play. But it seems like quite a nice idea, and it sounds like it's going to be quite fun. So I'm looking forward to having some fun with this over Christmas. But I'm really pleased to have added another one of these vintage board games to my collection, especially one with the boxes in such amazing condition. It's just a shame there's a couple of pieces missing, but the box is really good, as you can see. No tears or hardly any scuffs or damage. But did you have this as a kid? What are your memories of playing the Donkey Kong board game? I'd love to hear them. Or do you collect these board games like me? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have some of the ones that I don't have and want to recommend the ones that I should look out for? As always, I love to hear from you, so please leave a comment down below. And I've been the Laird, and I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.